that would sound like encouraging those who will go with these stones, rocks, slings, that also we have seen officers sustain injuries during some of these protests.
Our people have not attacked anyone. If you see the kind of things being done in Kawangware, in Kibra, in Madare, our people are going about their business. They have been attacked by people in police uniform, being attacked by militia while the security agencies watch. This, you cannot just sit and wait to be maimed and killed. You reserve the right to self-defense, and that right is well enshrined both in our constitution and as well as international covenants that Kenya is party to. Yeah. So it's either the state defends its people, or the state comes out to admit that, one, it's executing an official policy of extermination, targeting specific communities, because what we are facing is ethnic profiling of specific communities, especially those who happen to support the NASA coalition. And the only reason they are being victimized is for standing for their rights and denouncing Uhuru and Ruto as president. Yeah.
Two final questions. Dialogue, is that still on the table? Is Raila Odinga still willing to engage and talk with President Uhuru Kenyatta? And what is the framework of that in your view? How would it work? And also, you've had Raila Odinga talking about the international community to come in, the international community to help the situation. The international community will always say the rule of law to be followed. And in this particular scenario, we've gone through all the channels. So what do you seek the international community to do in this case?
One is that we remain committed to dialogue on only one agenda: free, fair, and credible elections. When they are ready for us to sit down on a table and discuss that and agree on a framework of conducting fresh elections that meet the tenets of the law, then we are ready. Otherwise, we are not party to any dialogue that seeks to sweep things under the carpet and ask us to accept and move on. In these elections, we will never move on until we have electoral justice. Secondly, is that there is a contextual basis for the crisis that we face. It's not out of nothing. The international community has been part of it. Locally here, the ambassadors have been quite unhelpful. They're part of the problem. But this has now been escalated to their own governments that aptly understand the crisis in Kenya, and they know exactly at what level to intervene. You cannot use the rule of law fiat at the moment without looking at the realities of the day. And the realities of the day, part of the rule of law is to give the citizens an election as a matter of right, and that right is contained in Article 38, that every citizen is entitled to regular elections that are free, fair, and credible. That has not been done, and so you cannot talk about the realm of rule of law without looking at the totality of it. And the national community now perfectly understands the contextual basis in which the Kenyan crisis has emanated. They know where to intervene, and we've said that we have no desire whatsoever, and this I must repeat today, that if there is one thing we are not willing to do is to go into any form of or a caricature of arrangement in the form of a coalition government to sweep things under the carpet. Okay. We would rather ensure that justice is done and remain in the opposition than wish away the sacrifices that our people have made to get into a marriage of convenience with the Jubilee. That we will not do.
Many thanks. Thank you so much, Norman Magaya, for being with us here on The Big Story. He's the CEO of the NASA Secretariat. And as you've heard, adamant that they are on course to ensure they achieve all that they've set out to, even despite and in spite of today's judgment that was rendered by the judges of the Supreme Court, saying in the coming days will be that big announcement, and that quote-unquote swearing in that we've had before is not off the table, perhaps one of the considerations. So we'll wait to see, Linda, how it is these events will play out. Back to you.
Sophia, thank you for that interview.